Every one of my prognostic evaluation programs predicted, with 98% certainty, that this would be his reaction.
Where's Cup? And where's Perceptor?
Seemingly, Springer had just made one of his regular trips to the science vessel ARC-17 to check on the progress of the venerable, but currently incapacitated, Cup. He wasn't there. Neither was Perceptor. Take it easy, Springer. Springer. As the leader of the crack commando unit, the Wreckers, his hands haven't been clean in years. Why do we Autobots rely on an extreme last line of defense when we should make our first one count? His default setting is to overreact. With one uppercut, he epitomizes the unchecked streak of bravado that courses through the ranks of the Autobots. What chance do we have of victory if we continue to indulge loose cannons and wild cards? What I set in motion here, today, will mark the turning point. We got him back. Cup's back.
Huh? That's not possible. You didn't see what it was like when we found him. He was sick, his mind fried from the crystals he became addicted to on that planet. Damn it. His neurocore was so chewed up by radiation, he thought he was defending himself from night terrors and ghosts. But instead, he was manifold deep in the fuel of the Autobots I'd sent to rescue him. Autobots he slaughtered with his bare servos. Perceptor said he was too far gone, physically and mentally. There was nothing—
Yes, and that's exactly why I had Perceptor bring Cup here, to the Chemia facility. You know what they're capable of here, right? This is high-end stuff we're talking about. Liquid shrapnel, fold space, imported memory. Science that exists almost on a purely theoretical level. I teamed Perceptor with an Autobot who's made some huge leaps recently, developing some very unusual tech for us.
Scroll back. Unusual tech? That's what I'm afraid of. I know all about this place, Prowl. Do you have any idea how many freaky graviton blasters and chronal displacement grenades the Wreckers have tested out for Chemia? The stuff these guys cook up. Wait a sec. Tell me you didn't just drag Cup here to reverse engineer some kind of weapon that can inflict that sort of radiation damage on a Decepticon?
No, Springer, but don't think I didn't consider it. I had Cup brought here because this was where breakthroughs were being made, with the Pretender process.
Wait, the Pretender process? The same Pretender process that Khan Zealot bludgeon homebrewed? The same that led to the whole Thunderwing mess, which means we don't get to live on Cybertron anymore? Nice play, Prowl. This scheme makes Cup's rescue mission look as smooth as a gear change from Blur.
Overreaction predicted with 89% accuracy. I have heard this exact Springerism precisely 76 times over the last 36 decacycles. There is nothing about him I cannot predict. You must have missed the part where I mentioned the breakthrough, Springer. Jetfire stabilized the process during his defense against the expansion, giving the techs at the facility a way forward to rebuild Cup. This statement is 100% factual, as is the point that the scientists here can make the improvements in Cup that I will later require. We always knew that upgrading him would be an issue due to his physical incompatibility with current tech, but Bludgeon's seemingly flawed idea offered us a solution.
You're telling me that for all intents and purposes, this rebuilt Cup is a Pretender?
Never was truer syntax vocalized. Got it. There's no inner robot body per se, but the cerebral interface operates on the same principle.
How? How can you have a cerebral interface when he barely has a cerebrocortex left to interface with?
I don't have to run projected personality simulations to know that guilt, worry, and a refusal to move on are fueling his disbelief. But he can be so tiring. The scientists made a breakthrough, Springer. That's their job. Don't you get it? This is real. Cup's back. Watch. I show him the footage. I've seen it before, of course, but it doesn't fail to impress me. And for a second, as I watch this old relic move like he's next year's model, I almost see what the others see. It's a certainty they'll ask the question.
What's that in his mouth? Why is he sucking a cigar?
That'd be the breakthrough Perceptor and his team made.
That would be some retrograde poison he's sucking on. Why the hell did these science bots shove a cigar in his face?
It's actually a synthesized form of the solar-charged crystal radiation that Cup became addicted to while he was stranded, and it serves as a flashback suppressant of sorts. It doesn't overwhelm him or instigate any negative or unusual behavioral patterns. It satisfies his craving without amplifying it.
Trade one addiction for another?
Better to think of it as keeping his personality propped up, which is exactly how I need him. Because if Cup loses stability, then his whole reason for being here, the specially encoded personality subroutines I had Perceptor install, just won't take effect. The ethics cause me no guilt. Obviously, I keep all this from Springer, just as I'm certain he would keep facts about how unpleasant his job could get when he's with the Wreckers. Necessity rules. Look, Springer, it's not ideal, but as long as he keeps it, we keep Cup. And that's surely the lowest price we've paid so far?
That's what I love about you, Prowl. You even calculate your offhand remarks to maximum effect.
I dial it down to make myself more convincing as Cup's sudden benefactor. At the end of the day, Springer, Cup is a figurehead, a rare and genuine hero among Autobots. Now, I may not subscribe to his methods, but right now, we need someone like him. He's an inspiration to us all. I'm counting on it.
Let me see him.
I lead Springer to the lab where Cup is undergoing one final strip down and reassembly before rolling out.
Well, get over here, kid. I ain't gonna rip your head off.
And there he is, Cup, just as he was before, and yet different, a pretender. Even disassembled, he holds the room together through sheer strength of personality. What Autobot wouldn't blindly file in behind him? As far as on-the-job reflexes go, Springer's readily accessed shortcuts to his emotional processors are an asset. But in this instance, they belittle him.
Cup. Forget to attach your feet, old-timer?
Your wise-ass routine's getting older than me, pal. I'll learn you some respect once I reattach my fighting hand. Now, where is it?
Cup. 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 You okay?
Huh? Oh, sure. The old assembly line fog ain't completely burned off yet.
Here you go, Commander.
Hey, nice job, Perceptor. The science of convalescence has come a long way, huh? You know they got this specially made for me?
Cup, I on behalf of... I just wanted you to know how much you mean to us. To the Autobots.
I can safely affirm that he's never meant more to me.
You know, what you said there, I appreciate it. It's good to be back.
Perceptor, you're to be seconded to Cup indefinitely. You're to be on hand with a ready supply of flashback suppressants. As well as that, I'll need you to monitor the integration process of those new personality subroutines I suggested be installed.
I just don't know what gives you the right.
Yeah, you do, Perceptor. Here's the data dump. We're not winning this war, and I'm tired of it. Tired of crunching stat after stat, formulating workable strategies for achievable victory. Prime listens, to a point, then gets restless and changes tack on a whim. The average Autobot default setting is Daredevil Maverick. That's not us, Perceptor. We can subdivide this war into its purest mathematical form and generate solutions all we want. But unless we happen to be surfing on a meteoroid at the time, no one will pay attention. Bots like Cup have the sensors and receptors of the masses already. He's the conduit. If we provide the code, Cup will provide the mass installation for us. You're the least warlike Autobot I know. By being a part of this, you're bringing us nearer to peace. 100% of this statement is true. He knows I'm right. He can never, ever know what he did.
Cup can never know what happened on that planet or what we did.
What you did.
What was done to get him back. If he knew that his life was valued over the dozens we sent to die at his hands, then he'll just go and throw himself in the nearest sun and be done with it. Perceptor, Trailbreaker, Siren, Sizzle, and anyone else from Arc 17 who knew what happened can never speak of this to anyone.
The deafening clatter of solidified obviousness reverberates around my audio receptors, as if I hadn't covered this. And even if I hadn't, their collective blind loyalty to Springer would have ensured their silence. It's been taken care of, Springer.
Of course it has. If there was some angle where you could score points with Prime for this, you'd have it covered.
Correct. Though it's fair to say Optimus Prime would be attracted to the romantic notion of risking all for a fallen comrade. Even when, compared to the numbers lost in retrieving him, that comrade is of negligible statistical importance. Optimus wouldn't be Optimus without his willingness to gamble all for nothing. It's not that I don't understand it. As Transformers, it's in our nature to adapt and change according to the given situation. But this overpowering sentimentalism and acceptance of the rebel element holds us back from victory. I can see the cracks starting to show. Intel on the current Decepticon situation dries up.
Still nothing, Prime.
Still nothing.
Statistically, it's a certainty that his need to be active will be severely counterproductive. My projections and strategizing all see the same thing. Do nothing. Wait. Prime trusts my advice. He listens to me. But soon, Prime won't be able to hear me anymore. My voice just a conduit for facts and figures. It doesn't speak to the warrior inside. Not like Ironhide does.
You know what I think?
But we allow Ratchet, Hot Rod, Grimlock, and Springer, sanctioning untrained Autobots to rescue a deranged veteran to buck the system, and then celebrate them. Compare these examples with the Decepticons. Of course they have their own rogue elements, the Scorponok's, Bludgeons, and Thunderwings, but for the most part they act as one. They may have sinister goals, but there's nothing evil about reason, analysis, discipline, logic. Why can't these be the tools of the Autobots? I'm just not the figurehead Autobots seem to need. But then, I don't want to be. I don't thrive on attention. It's the badge on my chest that matters, not my face. So from now on, Cup's my face. Or one of them. He was already a living legend. Now that he's back online, he'll be in the spotlight even more. All optics locked on him. Good. Because now I can speak through him and finally get the message across. What Perceptor said still amuses me.
You hypothesize that the tendency among Autobots to disregard orders when they impede moral or personal crusades directly undermines your preferred brand of logic-oriented strategy.
In so many words, yes.
Interesting, then, that the qualities you intend to discredit and quash couldn't be more evident than in the Autobot who secretly oversees the rehabilitation of another purely to have his point made.
The irony isn't lost on me. But Perceptor, the difference between someone like Hot Rod and someone like me is that no one will ever know what I've done, which is precisely how I wanted to stay. I don't want to lead. I don't need public approval. My goal is to put all my resources into winning this war. That's the way it should be for a number cruncher like me. But with Cup, everyone wants to hear what he has to say. So now, when he speaks, you won't even see my lips move. Welcome back, Cup.